So then guys, welcome back to another brand new video. Today we've got another rebuild and we are doing my club, Manchester United. So much to fix in this club, it's unreal, but we're going to give it a shot, see how we do within 5 years. If you do like these videos, please do leave a like on the video, make sure you subscribe, but enough talking, let's get into it. So then guys, the first thing we're going to do is look through the team and see who I want to offload. Now I'm not going to be able to offload all these players in one go because it's literally impossible and it's very risky because I probably won't be able to replace the players right in the first season. But overall, I'd like to get rid of, I only want 2 goalkeepers really, so I want to get rid of Heaton and Grant. I'd like to get rid of Wan-Bissaka, Phil Jones, Harry Maguire. Nothing really against Bailly or Lindelof. They're not world class, but we'll keep them here for now. Am I missing anyone? Fred, I would like to move on. Matic is moving on, so we'll get rid of him. Jesse Lingard will be moved on. Paul Pogba definitely will be moved on if I can get anything for him, because otherwise he'll leave on the free. He always does. Juan Mata will be moved on. Ronaldo, not this season, but once we've got the funding next season, or we get money from Pogba, he will be going for a younger striker. Rashford, I'm not a fan of him. I think his head's completely out of the game, so he will be gone. And Cavani will also be gone, preferably this season, because I just think like he's too much time on the bench for me personally. But that's the plans for the squad. So I'm going to try and do a little bit of transfer, activity now, and let's see how we get on. So then guys, we have done the transfers for the first season, but because it was such a hectic window, some of these transfers were done mid-season, some of them were done before the season. So let's go through. There's been a load spent, but there's also been a load sold. So the players we got rid of were Harry Maguire, Phil Jones, Lingard, Matic, Lee Grant, a few other boys here. Obviously, the likes of Fred, Cavani, Mata, Rashford. PSG took Rashford off me. And then obviously a few lower tier players there. The players I've brought in, I honestly think, is a really, really, really good structure, like what we can build off. So the first player that I personally brought in was Kimpembe. Now, obviously, a great replacement for Maguire. Fantastic. Young, partners brilliantly with Raphael Varane. You can't really complain there. So, I mean, overall, I would say I've done very well there. How much did we spend on him? We spent 60 million, so quite a bit of money on him. And obviously United have been prone to spend a lot of money on centre-backs already, but they still haven't figured it out, and I honestly think this partnership at the back is going to work. The next player I brought in, a personal favourite of mine, I love him on Football Manager, for 35 million, is Kesse. Fantastic player, slots right into the midfield. Obviously, we sold a lot of midfielders in the window, so we had to bring someone in, and I wanted someone that wasn't too old, but also had experience and a great all-round midfielder, and that is what Kesse can give you. 25 years of age, and look at them stats there, absolutely incredible. So that was the second player I brought in. The next player I brought in was to replace Rashford, was Anthony for 47.5 million, obviously previously from Ajax, a player that could come in real life, we don't know yet. Absolutely fantastic player, brilliant stats, 22 years old, potential to grow, and this is just like a very quick, fast-paced, counter-attacking player, which is what we're playing, and it really does work well with the likes of Sancho on the other side. And definitely, last but not least, I needed a backup striker because obviously Cavani went, and I've seen quite a few people sign this guy on like Reddit posts and things like that. So I've signed Gabriel Barbosa from Flamengo for 15.5 million for a backup striker, and his stats are honestly really good. You're talking 15 finishing, 15's amongst the whole board pretty much. Obviously, he isn't a regular starter, but to be honest, he does the job. And for me, he's only 25 as well, so it's a perfect backup striker for Ronaldo. And overall, I'm very happy with how this window's gone. I think I've got rid of some of the deadwood. Every player I've brought in is young, also experienced. But that's enough talk. Let's see how we do after one season. So guys, the first season is done. 60 million in the budget, it says. Very interested to see where we finished. When I was going through them players just a second ago, you would have seen they've got stats. That is because obviously I did also make signings through mid-window because I wanted to get some players out. So I don't actually know where we finished. So let's go and have a look. Let's click on home. Wow. Second place, only by 7 points. Second place in the league. I've just seen down there Mr. Ronaldo, 42 goals. But also, let's not forget, winners of the FA Cup versus Liverpool. So we won the FA Cup in the first season, finished second in the Premier League. Absolutely fantastic season. Embarrassment to be knocked out by Plymouth in the Carabao Cup. And that's quite an unfortunate one against PSG. But we've won silverware. Finished second, got Champions League. Now let's look at some of the stats. Obviously, Ronaldo top goal scorer, Bruno with the most assists and the highest match rating, Varane with the best pass completion. Let's actually dig deeper into these stats now. Go into the squad. So Bruno Fernandes actually, picking it up with the highest rated player with 38 games in the Premier League and 17 assists. Absolutely sensational from him. Then it's Varane actually with 7.35 average match rating. Very, very impressed with that. And then of course, obviously, we've got the likes of Ronaldo, 42 goals. Let's have a little look at that. 36, 33 goals. I'm not bothered about the assists. He's the star man at the end of the day. Diallo done really well in his loan period at Rangers. So very happy with that. A player that could be on the bench for us next season. For sure. Kimpembe done quite well as well. David De Gea up in the ranks. Donny, not the best loan period, but as a player that I do want to get involved next season. Some of the poor performers, we're looking at the likes of Dean Henderson doesn't play. Paul Pogba, stinking attitude. I can't wait till he leaves. I tried selling him so many times during the season and no one wanted him. And he was one club wanted him, which was PSG, and he actually refused the contract because he literally is only wanting to go on the free. He's just being a scumbag. So he probably will end up going on the free. But overall, I feel like I'm building a team here that is going back to, it's a nice young side. There's passion. There's fight in it. And now, obviously, we've got another 60 million to spend. But overall, for the first season, second place, winners of the FA Cup, I'll take that. But let's go and make some signings for Season 2. So then, guys, after a very successful first season, we still have strengthened this team. I've been busy, making some signings. We did manage to actually sell 2 players, which I didn't think we would be able to. Paul Pogba actually went to Arsenal, of all clubs, for 28.5 million, which is decent considering he was going to go on the free. And we also managed to sell Aaron Wan-Bissaka for 14 million to Nice. He's a player I've got a grudge against. I don't really like him in real life, and I'm making it as realistic as I can. He's not performing well in real life, so I've got rid of him. He might perform well in the game, but this is a realistic save. I brought in a player I'm personally familiar with. I know him very well. Benjamin Henrichs from RB Leipzig, 14 million. Not the best ability right off the bat, but he's still young, good stats in the game, very well balanced, and obviously a cheap fullback, and you'll see why I needed it to be cheap with the player that I did bring in into the squad. But I know Hendricks very well, a fantastic player. I watch a lot of Leipzig play, and he is genuinely a great fullback. So glad to have him aboard, that is for sure. The players we brought in then. We brought in Tolisso on the free, which was agreed last season, but he's coming again. In terms of players, considering he's on the free, you're looking at about a 3-star ability, but it's the stats I'm loving. The work rate at 16, very high work rates, very similar to Kessie's work rate. I think Kessie's might be 17, but just fantastic all-round stats and a free player who's worth about 30 million. So the next player we bring in is Darwin Núñez, the man that I hope is going to be the man to replace Cristiano Ronaldo one day. Ronaldo is going to be staying for another season because no clubs want him because of his ridiculous wage bill, and it would actually bankrupt me to pay him off. So I'm keeping him. I'm going to be starting Núñez and him. I'm going to rotate it so Núñez can learn a few things. Maybe even put Ronaldo on the left because Sancho is injured at the moment. I think for about 2 to 3 months. But Núñez is an exciting player. Decent stats already at this age. 23. And as you can see by his value, I actually got a bargain on him. He was only 35 million, which isn't bad, especially in today's market. The last player we get is a backup centre-back, because we are going to be getting rid of Bailly or Lindelof. when the offers come in. And I saw this guy actually got scouted for me. I can't say I've heard of him, but 15 million from Basel, sorry. Andy Pelmard, 3-star ability, looks very solid all round, young, 22 years, French as well, so that French backline is really staying intact. And going forward into the next window, I've already got the idea of where I want to strengthen. I will try and bring in world-class fullbacks, but they genuinely cost a ridiculous amount on this game. But overall, I would say a very, very successful window. Now, enough talking again. Let's see how we do in the next season. So then, guys, Season 2 has been simmed. And I don't know what the hell has happened, but we've got 130 million. As you can see there, the original budget was 143. So I imagine either some players have gone, maybe on the free, and we've got wages, because I did convert this wage. But I don't know where we've finished, what we've done, but that is a lot of money. But let's have a look where we're finished. This is the second season. Obviously, it's a developing team. I'm not expecting miracles, but let's have a finish. Have a look. So second place again. It's not ideal, but oh bloody, hang on. Wow. Okay. Right. Well, I mean, I'm actually not. I'm not annoyed at all. Then a second place finish to Liverpool, but we won the Champions League versus RB Leipzig. What was the score for one? 2-0 in the final. Inter Milan in the semis. Then it was Liverpool. Okay, so we did actually have a reasonable tough run as well. But we won the Champions League in our second season. Probably where the money's come from. Second place finish. Nunes with 27 goals. Bruno with the highest match rating again. Bruno Fernandes in there as well. Kembembe. Honestly, I mean, you can't really complain. I do think Ronaldo, I don't remember if I think he went to Lazio for about 4 million because he wasn't playing too well and he's getting old. He was getting on for 38. So I decided to sell him, which could be not all of it, but obviously he was taking up so much money in terms of wage. So I've definitely got players out that are on big salaries, brought players in. One signing I did make mid-window, which I'll tell you about now, if I can see him on here, is Nunes. I brought him for... Don't know if we can have a look here. We definitely can on there, transfer history. I brought him for 33 million. An absolute steal in my eyes. Such a well-rounded midfielder. And it's just all about adding depth into the team now. Introducing better quality players and having an overall, experience. Because when I sim, I do this and I don't select this. So this is a test on the whole team, not just a start on 11. But overall, then let's go back into the squad. So you're talking Bruno Fernandes, absolutely incredible. 30 assists this season with 18 goals. Nunes, 27 goals. Absolutely sensational from him. Jadon Sancho, 15 assists, 14 goals. Really good to see. Anthony there, getting quite a few goals as well. And this is all I can ask for from the players. This is pretty much our strongest team at the moment. Obviously, we've got injuries and people are on holiday, but this is just how it is at the moment. And honestly, it's such a good team. But we've now got 130 million to strengthen even on that. So now could be a chance to bring in them world-class fullbacks, to bring in maybe a world-class midfielder. I feel like the attack's actually really good. Like, we don't actually need to worry about the attack. But let's go and make some signings, and I'll get back to you. So then, guys, this is the third season of transfers, and I have gone big with the budget. I have gone really big. So let's go over who we've sold. So obviously Ronaldo there, but I did actually get rid of Pellistri because he will not work his way into this team. We've got too many talented wingers, that is for sure. Good player in real life, but on this save, he's not going to be making it. So 20 million for him. Ronaldo for 4.6. He was actually on the verge of retiring, so he's gone to Lazio of all clubs. Tellez decided he wanted to move on. Completely fine. We then got rid of Pereira for 2.3, getting pretty much whatever we can for these players. Camboila, a great academy player, but unfortunately will not cut it in this save. Lindelof, I actually put him out on loan because he just won't be playing. And also, we got rid of the likes of a few people on here on the free. Sporting actually sniped a couple players here on the free. I did try and renew both of these, but it was too late. They weren't interested. And buy you for 15 million, which is actually quite a good price. But, tell you what, let's go over the signings, because this is where it gets good. So, I'll show you this guy. Nunes from pretty much the last season. Yeah, last season, mid-season. But the first signing, I went, do you know what? We need a sick, great attacking fullback, which Henrik's done great. He won us the Champions League, but he's not quite the cutting edge I was looking for. This guy is 50 million, obviously worth double that. He looks honestly incredible. He's quick, good tackling, good work rate, fitness is good. Everything I want in an attacking fullback, and it's literally the one player on the market that wasn't like 100 million right off the bat. So Riddle Baku from Wolfsburg, in my opinion, a great option. That's why I got him, and I think this is honestly going to help the club going forward. The next player I go and I buy is none other than Christopher Nkunku from RB Leipzig, a fantastic player. An absolute joy to watch in real life, valued at 89 to 97 million. And this guy just adds to the depth of midfield. I'm going to show you after this, quickly. But the depth we have in midfield now is honestly disgusting. I've come in, I've got rid of old players, brought in young, talented, hungry players that are going to have competition against each other to fight for the first team. Something that Manchester United needs in real life. Now, the last signing is a backup. Backup centre-back. Obviously, we've already got one, but because Bailly went, this guy here, who's actually a wonder kid called Kaiki. Great potential, so I will look to get him involved, because obviously, Varane's nowhere near retiring, but obviously he is getting older, and you may, with this guy's potential, you want to develop him. But if we quickly look, before we, get into the next season, let's look at this here then. So in midfield, alone, if we just click this and hover over, we can see the options. We've obviously got Scott McTominay, Van der Beek, Christopher Nkunku. We have got so many options to bring in now compared to what we did have, and they're all quality options. And Scott McTominay maybe not being the most quality option, but Donny, Tolisso and Nkunku. So Bruno was injured a bit last season. We had no one to really replace him. Now, bam, Christopher Nkunku. Nunes prefers that attack and playmaker role, and obviously Scott McTominay or Van der Beek can, fill in the ball-winning midfielder role. It's an absolutely amazing team, and going forward, I think the only position I'm looking to strengthen is possibly De Gea if he gets as he gets older, if his form drops, and possibly, depending on the budget, maybe Anthony. Could drop down to not necessarily bench, but more of a rotation, and we can get a world-class winger in. But that's really going far forward. I would like to add, I could have signed Haaland, but I didn't because it's not realistic. He's gone to City in real life. I could have signed him for 95 mil. You saw I had like 100 and something. I could have popped the release clause, but I didn't. I kept it realistic. That's enough talking though. Let's get in to the third season. So then, guys, that is Season 3 simulated. If the lighting's different, it's because it's a different day. I do play these across different days. But this is a big season for us, because obviously we won the Champions League last year. And this season was more about trying to go for the Prem. I have seen we've got £162 million. Now, during the season, players can agree to obviously go on the free. They can transfer, because I simulate the entire season and let it play out. So people could have left, and that will be, I'll say if anyone did leave when I do the transfers coming up shortly. But let's see how we got on for the season anyway. So I'm curious here. Here we go. Wow. So he absolutely dominated the Premier League. Bruno Fernandes with 32 goals. We'll check that out shortly. I did see when I was going through the calendar, the Liverpool manager and the Man City manager both got sacked in the same season. So not a good season for them two. But we won the Premier League by 20 points. Absolutely sensational. Best on pretty much everything. Apart from yellow cards, but meh, doesn't really matter. And I've just seen here, Champions League against Liverpool, which I think was the last exact same replay as last year. We also won the Super Cup versus Tottenham. Not really a massive trophy, but we'll take it. And lost in the quarterfinals. We're disappointed in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. And lost the Community Shield. But the big trophies we're winning. We've won the Premier League. That is so nice to see as a United fan. Back at the top, back dominating. And we did dominate that season big time. And we've won the Champions League again. Absolutely beautiful to see. We're very happy with that. Let's look at some of the actual stats. So you can see them down here. But let's go into the squad now. Right. So, match rating. Bruno Fernandes, I mean, must be playing an absolute mental style of football. Up to the 5-star ability now. As you can see, obviously, pretty much everything is looking very good on him. Such an all very well-rounded player. You're sort of talking 35 games in the Prem, 25 goals and 17 assists for Bruno Fernandes. Absolutely sensational from him. Varane playing a very, very high standard with 16 goals for Varane. Obviously, I assume from set pieces. Kimpembe popping up with an assist and 8 goals. And Núñez, again, very happy with him. 28 goals this season. Really filling in for Ronaldo. So 26 starts in the Premier League or games in the Premier League. 17 goals. So, I mean, you can't really knock that at all, can you? And Jadon Sancho, a player which now is really coming to his own. And it's really good to see. David De Gea, the player which I was thinking of replacing, and I still might for a younger goalkeeper going forward, because I do believe if we click on him, he's 33, so he might have a couple more or a season left in him. But very good performances from everyone, all of the big boys. Some of the downfall players. Let's look right at the bottom. Now, I do know Tolisso and Lindelof have both agreed free contracts. So Tolisso didn't work out, unfortunately, but we didn't pay anything for him, and we didn't. It's pretty much an even field, so it's not too bad. Van der Beek, obviously, I imagine has been not playing every game because we have got a rather stacked midfield now. As you can see here, the squad depth is absolutely ridiculous now. Got like Nkunku, Núñez just on the bench. But overall, guys, I mean, I would say a pretty flawless season. I'm really happy with that. But let's go in and let's make some signings for the 4th season. So then, guys, we've still got about 35 million to spend, but I honestly don't think I'm going to be spending it just yet because I don't know what I'm going to be spending it on, and I don't want to waste the money. But we have made some signings, but let's first go over some of the people we got rid of in technically last season, now coming up. But it will be, obviously, Tuanzebe went on the free, Dallo went on the free, a lot of people going on the free, and basically that means that I didn't get the chance to offer them a contract when I was doing the transfers. Like during the season, if decisions get made, I don't even see them. So it really does spice things up when you do a save like this. But one player, the only reason I'm showing you this screen again is because this guy's actually fallen into this section of it. It is from SC Copenhagen, 9.5 million, a wonder kid right winger, none other than Ronnie Bardagli, I think that's how you say that. Absolutely fantastic. A 9.5 million, obviously worth a lot more than that now already. His stats look fantastic. They're all like above 15, majority of them. Some 16s, technique 17. And honestly, he's really going to challenge Anthony for that right wing position. So one of them will be rest him when one's playing, and I think it's going to be a real good fight to see who gets in the first team. And that's what I want. I want friendly competition at this club. So that's why I brought him in. Moving on to the next window. We'll talk about these big boys in a moment. But the players that went, a lot of players went on the free. Obviously, a lot of like youth players, but also obviously like Garnacho, a very promising prospect in real life. Martial, I did try and offer a contract, but he went and didn't let me. McTominay, I decided to sell because I've got a replacement, which you can see. I know you're seeing the big name here, but we lost a lot of players, but the likes of like Lindelof was on loan. He joined permanently. Well, I don't know if that was the same club, but I was expecting them to leave, is what I'm trying to say. And a lot of these are, not in my plans. But the 2 players I brought in are real big players. So the first one, 65 million, Camavinga for that midfield. Obviously, Talisso's gone, McTominay went, and the aspect and what I'm trying to develop with this club is a young, promising side, and it's healthy competition. He can play in attack and playmaker, he can play in so many roles, and all that midfield can rotate games then. And obviously, you know, he can fill in for Bruno, and there's just such good depth in that midfield now. You can see some of the midfielders we've got. We've got Van der Beek, Camavinga, Nunes and Kunku, Kesse, Bruno. Sensational midfielders. And adding him in, I mean, his stats are phenomenal. He can still grow. French, so plenty of, you know, teammates in there that will help him adapt to the club. And just a brilliant player, fantastic in real life as well. So welcome Camavinga. And the last player, this decision was made because I got scouted him, and I was going to do this next season, but it was a good price for him. He's a fantastic goalkeeper, and for 55 million from FC Nantes or Nantes, we picked up Lafont. 4-star ability, stats are out of this world, 25, so very young for a goalkeeper, and I am going to be selling either David De Gea or Dean Henderson, but no offers have come in for either. Obviously, we don't want 3 keepers at the club. I like to have 2. I believe it's more than enough. But the only reason I got this guy now is because he was available in the market and he was slightly cheaper than what he usually is. So I thought, we'll get him now because we are going to need a goalkeeper in the next season. But that is going to be it for the signings, guys. I hope you are liking the signings so far. Before we get into the season, drop a big like on the video. Drop a comment below on any teams that you want to see me do this with. But let's get into the 4th season. So then, guys, that is season 4 simulated. We've got 171 million. I will say, when I was simming through the calendar, I did see that we've been taken over. So the Glazers are out the door. Thank God. Finally, they're out the door. Similar budget, 171 million to spend. I don't know how we're going to spend it. There is one player that I kind of want, but we'll keep that a secret for now. But let's see how we done. Obviously, last season, we're talking Super Cup, Premier League, Champions League, all in the same season. Poor performance in the other 2 cups, though. So let's have a look. Wow, I can see a lot of winning just right there. So, well, I mean, top of the league, 101 points. We break the margin. Obviously, quite a big gap there. I've just seen down there as well, Nunes with 59 goals. So, wow, we've won an absolute... Well, we've won a lot here. I mean, we won the Champions League versus Real Madrid in the finals. We won the Super Cup again at the start of the season against Atletico Madrid. We've won the Premier League. We actually a little bit better in both of the the English trophies. Got knocked out by Everton in the Carabao, but we won the FA Cup, which is the better one of the 2, against Chelsea, and we also won the Community Shield against West Ham. So overall, I mean, that is nearly a perfect season. We're talking we're literally talking 5 trophies that season. So, I mean, it's absolutely sensational stuff. I've seen down here, Nunes, 59 goals. Bruno Fernandes, again, back-to-back seasons with the highest match rating, 52 assists. And we've got to look at some of these stats because I'm actually shocked. It's making me speechless. Like, honestly... That is ridiculous. Let's just have a little look then. Let's go into the squad. So, a lot of high match ratings in this team. The first one we're instantly going to check out is Bruno Fernandes, man. I mean, so, wow. 37 games, 21 goals, 34 assists. So that's nearly an assist every game in the Premier League. I mean... 30 years old, he's still got a couple of seasons in him. Obviously, it could be a situation now where I look to bring in another promising attacking midfielder, because obviously he hasn't got forever, has he? But I mean, honestly, sensational from him. We're then going to look at Nunes, because this is the other man that really does stand out. So in the Premier League, wow. 26 appearances, 35 goals for Nunes. I have taken this player and taken a good player and turned him world class. I really have. Honestly, sensational from him this season. Obviously, we'll have a little look, just a quicker glimpse down here. Rafael Varane again with quite a few goals. Ronnie Bardagli, our new signing, the wonder kid, actually played 33 games with 13 goals, 11 assists. Overall, a very good season from him. And that does tell me he actually probably played. Or Anthony actually down here got reasonable stats as well. But I mean, looking at it, the signings we're bringing in seem to always hit the floor running, and I'm very happy with that. But honestly, let's just look at Nunes again, because that amount of goals is honestly ridiculous. Actually, how did Lafont do? Lafont, not bad, a 7.12. Some of the weaker performers is Donny van der Beek, Camavinga, but obviously that midfield role, they don't play every game. How many did Camavinga get? Like 10 games, because he's still... these are players I brought in, so two reasons. One, because they will become guaranteed first team when the older players decide to move on. And two, so the players don't get poached. Simple as that. But overall, I mean, what I'm looking at here is possibly a situation where I might look to bring in these fullbacks now that are 90 million, you know, because we've got the money to do it. The board have been very generous with the funding, very generous, sorry. But overall, a fantastic season. And let's just look at Nunes again. His finishing's 13, but obviously something's clicking in the game. Everyone's got a green link. Everyone's got a green link. It's honestly beautiful to see. Great rotation. Still in the office for De Gea or for Dean Henderson. But let's go and make some signings for the final season. So then, guys, the last transfer window for the rebuild. And again, I've been a busy bee. We've upgraded the team, and these are some of the players that we've got rid of. So Benjamin Henrichs, a player who's done very well for us, but he did want to move on, so I allowed him to do so. He joined America over here, CF America, for 24 million, which is actually quite a good price for him. We then offloaded Dean Henderson because De Gea had no offers and I needed to get rid of a keeper, and he went to Roma for 16.25. Quite a good offer for him, to be fair. Max Odiele went for about 10,000, a player which I had no real future for him here. And Gabriel Barbosa for 33 million at Benfica, who has been a very good substitute player, but in my opinion, we've upgraded him with Martin Citrinho from Inter Milan. 36 million, 24 years old, already fantastic stats, and a great backup for Nunes. And I say that like this guy could be a first team player, but we've got the finances, we've got the allowance to sign these type of players, so we may as well sign him. Fantastic player, obviously, you know, won't be starting, but definitely a player to have on the bench. So welcome him for sure. The next player, we brought in a couple more big boys. You heard me say before this clip or this part that I said I want to bring in world class fullbacks, and I did. So here we go. First off, Theo Hernandez from Milan, one of the few left backs that wasn't tied down to a club and interested, and he was interested in joining. 59 million, but sensational. Absolutely sensational. 4-star ability, attacking, just what I'm after. Everything about him. I mean, he's decent, his pace is quick, good at tackling, just everything about him is brilliant. Obviously, that does mean that Luke Shaw is now going to be a substitute player, which is a fantastic player to have on the bench. Obviously, Teller's left a few seasons ago, but a fantastic player, and I don't actually think it was a ridiculous price, to be honest. Obviously, also 27 years old, so still got sort of like 3 to 4 years in him, which is future-proof for the team, for sure. And then we spent big on a right back. Right backs are not easy to come by, and this guy was not easy to come by. I mean, I tried to go in for the likes of Walker was actually on the free, but he was 35, didn't look that great anymore. But Pedro Porro from FC Bayern Munich, obviously, well, stats-wise, absolutely lights out. I mean, one of the best right-backs in this save as it goes. And we paid, 93 million. So a lot of money to be spending on a fullback. But this is the one area of the team which wasn't really world class. And obviously, with Henrichs going, it doesn't mean that Baku is our backup fullback. But everything about him, quick, good tackling, good crossing, good dribbling. Just what I require in my fullbacks. And he fits into the formation so well. And I honestly have got every hope of this season coming up now that we can go and do exactly what we've done last season and hopefully maintain that Premier League title. So let's get into the last season and see how we do. So then, guys, the last season has been simmed. 88 million, so not as much as before, but I just really want to get into this. I'm actually excited. Obviously, a lot of new faces come in, so we've got to take that into account. Also, the transfer revenue has gone down a lot. I've seen that. Still rich is the status. Home. Bam. Well, maintain the title. That's the main thing. That was the thing I really wanted to do. quite a poor display in terms of Champions League, so European football was a bit of a write-off. Did win the FA Cup again, I believe. Carabao Cup we've not actually won yet. Won the Community Shield. So overall, I would say a good season. A lot of, like, when you bring in 2 new fullbacks, it does make it harder because obviously they've got to adapt to the team. And, you know, I brought them in because they are better, but you're not going to win everything in the first season with 2 new fullbacks. But we maintain the title, which is the main thing. I've just seen down here, bottom left, Sotrano has actually got 43 goals, which suggests that maybe they split the games or Nunes had injuries, possibly. Bruno Fernandes there with obviously the highest match rating, most assists, and he just looks like most player of the matches. So obviously he was the star man again. But let's look at the squad. So I filtered it to the average match rating. Bruno Fernandes, 35 assists, 36 goals. Sotrano with 6 assists, 43 goals. Where's Nunes then? Nunes did obviously play some as well. 11 assists, 32 goals. Overall, quite good. Did actually play quite a few games in the Premier League there. 23 goals. 23 games, sorry. And Sotrano played 16. But he was, well, Jesus. He was averaging nearly 2 goals a game. So fair play to him. I mean, unless he was playing against weaker opposition, no idea there. Bruno Fernandes, obviously the key player here. Our wonder kid doing absolute bits. 35 games, 20 goals, 12 assists in the Premier Division. Honestly, what a signing that was. A risk, but it's paid off. Jadon Sancho doing absolutely fantastic. 55 appearances. I assume it's over the season, but contributing 15 assists, 16 goals, really helping out the team there. Donny van de Beek picking up the performance a bit as well, which is good. Varane up here as well again with 14 goals and also 4 assists, which is fantastic for a centre-half. Some of the poorer performers this season, you're looking like a Brandon Williams, probably didn't play much, 1 appearance. Luke Shaw didn't play well in the games he did play. Nunes, obviously, a few of these midfielders won't have the best match rating because maybe they're brought on just to seal out a game or, like, you know, they don't play all the time. But, you know, even Diallo here actually didn't play a lot of games, but when he did, obviously he's ranking very high. Same with Alanga in the match ratings. But if we look at the tactics now, this is the team I have left them with, and it is honestly sensational. I mean, you got the Font in goal, De Gea as backup, Porro, Varane, Kimpembe, Hernandez, Kesse, and Nkunku, Bardagli, Fernandes, Sancho, Nunes. World-class 11 in this save for sure. But it's the bench that gets me. We hover over Puro. You've got Baku instantly as backup if you need him. Varane and Kimpembe. You've got Kaiki and Pelmard. 2 centre-backs that still got tons of potential and are playing. So instantly got a replacement. Hernandez, obviously you've got Luke Shaw or Brandon Williams as backup. Midfielder. In Kessie's position, you've got Van der Beek that can play there. Camavinga. Nkunku. Oh, is it going to let me select Nkunku? There we go. And Nkunku, you've got the likes of Nunes again, Camavinga, Van der Beek. What I've done is I've built a midfield where everyone can play. Sorry for hitting the mic there, but I've pretty much built a midfield where everyone can chip in, everyone can contribute, and that's the beautiful thing about this. Even Anthony can play in that attacking midfielder role. And also, if we look at the wings, so on the right hand side, obviously, you know, you've got the likes of Alanga can play there, Anthony can play there, Diallo can play there. On the left-hand side with Sancho again, you've got Alanga that can play there, and also obviously Bardagli could play there if needed. And also Nunes can play on the wing. And up top now, we've got 2 young strikers that are fighting for goals. So I've left this club in a fantastic place. Now let's go and see what I've accomplished over 5 years with Manchester United. And this is the career milestone, so we can see what we've won for this club. So I was hired, as you can see here, in the first season, all we had to our name was the FA Cup. 1 trophy, though. 1 trophy and a top 4 finish, so you can't complain at that. In the second season, we won the Super Cup and the Champions League. So a massive improvement there, going to, you know, the FA Cup to the Champions League right away. A massive jump up in trophy wins, that is for sure. We then advanced into the key year. We actually entered the English Hall of Fame there. We won the Premier League. We won the Champions League. We won the Community Shield. We won the Super Cup. You know, we done absolute numbers that season for sure. So a fantastic job by me and the players there. We then advance to 2025. We repeat ourselves. we win the Premier League, we win the FA Cup, we win the Champions League, and we also win the Community Shield, and we enter the European Hall of Fame again. So, I mean, well, not again, we enter the European, we entered the English before. And honestly, what a season that was. And our last season, although it's less trophies, we entered the Worldwide Hall of Fame, the England Hall of Fame, we won the FA Cup and the Premier League. So overall, fantastic season. So we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Make sure of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 trophies we won in 5 seasons. Absolutely sensational. And it just goes to show what can be done if you sign the right players. And I know obviously on Football Manager it's easier to sign players than it is in real life. But if we were to sign some of the correct players in real life, you might see a little bit more success here and there. But overall, I am so happy with how this save has gone. Sorry if this episode is longer than the others, but there is a lot more to do with United. Like, I mean, we had so much to do in the first window. It was mad. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this save, and I hope you have enjoyed where this club now is. If you have, drop a like on the video, comment below some teams that you want me to do this with. I've already been suggested 2, which is Wolves and Arsenal, so I will be doing those. Also, please drop a comment on the video about any other sort of series ideas you fancy me doing, any challenges, stuff like this. Hit subscribe, make sure you turn on notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it enough, please do leave a like on the video, and please do subscribe, turn on notifications for plenty more uploads. Underneath my camera, I've personally selected a video which I really think you'll like. And also up next, on the other side, is a video that YouTube think you might like from my channel. So please do check them out, guys. Also, if you do want to keep in touch with me, be sure to follow my socials. I've got my Instagram and my Twitter above. I love to interact with you guys. But last but not least, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.